All right, you guys ready to roll? Anybody, no? Okay. Oh, we're good. Anybody have a site you want me to look at? It doesn't have to be yours. I said it can be a competitor's. No? Okay. No? Anybody have a site you want me to look at? Competitor site? You're curious? What is it? Hair or air? Paul's Air Design. It automatically recognizes hair. So this is a perfect example of a lack of energy put towards optimizing the brand. And that's a really good example. You wouldn't, that's not. Design error. All right. Okay. So. All right. So first things first, just in the initial glance, they have done one thing very well. They have their website coded using Google Schema for HVAC. The reason I know that, one search produces these star rankings showcasing on Google. That is hard to get. And with the Google Schema coding, this new structure, that's what we have the ability to do. What they did not do very well is they said they only have one vote, which whoever coded that forgot to put in a number that was greater than one, which you would not want to just do one. Okay? All right, trash we are. Okay. So first thing out of the gate, phone number is not clickable. That's to throw your phone out the sunroof driving down the street. That'll make somebody crazy. Oops. Are you in the room? Is Paul Design Air in the room? Am I okay doing this? No one's wife made this. He's a good friend of yours. Okay. All right. So phone number not clickable. As soon as I get to this site, I've got fast dependable through Inland Empire, which is good. I have home, I have about us, I have recent projects. So think about how Google searches. Think about how Google files stuff. If I put a page on my website that says services, how many competitive pages do I have?
6.7 billion.
Billion. Okay, billion. If I put something that says products, what do I got? Competitors.
5.3
billion. If I put about us, what do I got?
2.27
billion. Okay, so I'm saying that because I want you, when you look at sites, every page title puts you in a different drawer. Go see what that drawer looks like. See if you're around the right people, right? So I got home, no value. About us, limited value. How about recent projects?
That's way less.
Oh, this is so much easier. It's only 576 million sheets. Okay. So we get into services. Now, this is good. Right out of the gate, I've got air conditioner repair, for example. So the first thing Google is looking at is it's looking at your permalink, which is this link that's up here. No weird things, no question mark, page ID equals web app 597, blah, blah, blah. All of that's a no-go. So no garbage in your permalinks, the link up here. Next thing it's looking at is your H1 tag, which is a header 1, which is the page title. So I am curious. This title is Fast Response Air Conditioning Repair by Design Air. So what are we missing in that? Any thoughts from logic standpoint of what we're missing for Google to be able to file this page where someone would find it? If I search for air conditioning repair, what's my competition? 167 million. What did I forget?
Geography.
Location. Absolutely. So here's where your brain will start thumping. On your service pages, you need to have one page per service. And you can really only target 1 or 2 locations, but you do business in more than 1 or 2 locations, right? So you have to have a reverse structure on your pages. Those are all your services. We were just talking to SoCal. They do remodeling. So they have a page on their site called remodeling. And they don't have, is remodeling a pretty generic word, right? But what they don't have is bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling, and so forth, right? So we're missing that. They also wanted us to merge pages. They wanted us to put air conditioning repair, air conditioning service on the same page, which is going to dilute your value. You only have a certain number of characters allowed here and allowed in your H1 title, allowed in your meta description, only a certain number of characters. So when you start merging multiple services on one page, you're limiting yourself to dilute those key phrases in half or thirds and remove your ability to add a location to those pages. So you don't want to start merging and squishing content together. That's not good. You also don't want to have pages that have 0 location data on it. And this is a challenge for us. I mean, we build websites and then we give access to our clients and they go in and mess with stuff. So when I see their rankings tank, I can usually go in and look at their site and go, stop giving your son straight out of marketing school access to the back office of your site, please. So we have to make sure these service pages, you need 1 page per service, and you also need at least 1 or 2 cities on those pages. The reverse is I have to have an area on my site that has city pages. So what happens typically, we just had a strategy session about this site, and this is when you look at marketing, your brain needs to sit in 3 spaces. 1, what are we doing that's working? Do more of it. 2, what are we not doing that we need to start? What's next? I call it a what's next mindset. What's next? What's next? What's next? Stay in that space. And 3 is, what are we doing that's not working? How do we either improve it, give it more time, or reallocate those funds to something different? Those 3 things have to be the way that you think. In every meeting, every strategy session, first you gotta have strategy sessions and you need to show up at least twice a year, fall and spring. Make those. 4 times a year would be better. So you may, in your initial web project, start off with a page like this, HVAC service areas. This is not a very valuable page. But the concept of a price tag for writing a piece of content for every single one of these cities and new content to substantiate and keep it relevant and current, that's mind-boggling and that's a lot of money. And so that's why most people just stay here. However, this is a solution. This is not included in the program, but it's a recommendation for an add-on. There are only 2 review systems that are developed with a coding structure called schema coding, which is what I was talking about earlier, and give an open API for us to properly integrate it into a website and optimize it, meaning make those pages work for you. So on one hand, we're all in agreement that we need reviews, right? Well, we have another goal over here, which is we need pages for every city that we want to do business in, because we have to have something for Google to file to put in that drawer. If we don't have a page to file to put in the drawer for that phrase, service, and location, There's nothing to optimize. Your website will not show up on page 1 of Google for that if there's no content. Google is deaf and blind. It can't hear you. It can't see you. It reads Braille. If it doesn't have anything to crawl with its little spider bots, it can't put you anywhere. So this is a very, very smart strategic move to be able to accomplish multiple things. You need to get reviews. So we were just having a conversation, a sidebar, about how hard it is to get clients to give a review, that their technicians go out and then they beg later and beg and beg and beg after the fact to try and get people to leave reviews. Very difficult. Well, first off, the review should be done when you're in their home and you're staring into their soul and you're smiling and you know they're happy, or you don't ask. Okay? It should be done right then. When you get done doing all your work, and the next thing you do, you guys are going over and you are showing them how to work the thermostat, showing how to program it, and doing all that stuff, right? I've had it done. Right then, are you happy with everything? Do you like everything? Would you mind if I send you a quick text message and if you would leave me a review? We have a competition. I want to come back with the best reviews. And then you're right there over their shoulder. They've got their phone. You're like, oh, just click that. You know, the 5-star and that and that. And then you can leave me a little note. And they do it. They have no problem. Think about if a customer was doing that to you. As long as you're happy, you're like, I got you, man. So what's in the competition? What do you win? Baseball game? What do you get? Okay? Do it in the home. In my poem, I said, don't leave without getting a review I will surely endorse. Don't leave without it. So that's first. A secondary process can happen for additional follow-up for additional reviews, and it can use a different system. Again, the second and one of two only systems that have Google Schema and it implemented correctly. So first, this is the only review system that exists. It's not ours. We didn't develop it, so I don't have any interest in selling someone else's software other than the fact I know how powerful it is, and we've done a ton of research to identify pros and cons of all the softwares that are available. This one, they let us do what we can do to make it really powerful. So this is the only one that actually allows you to check in at a location. So when you get to a job site, just like you would check in on Facebook, for those of you that are Facebook users, you tap a little button, the map comes up, you write a little comment, boom, you're checked in. Same thing here. So this is one of their technicians that checked in, left a little comment. Their GPS on their phone automatically tagged the location, sends it to us. We know they're in a new city. We know when they got there. When he gets done with the service, if the client's happy, he's asking for the review. If the client looked like he was born grumpy, he's not asking for the review, but he got a city check-in, okay? Right? So you have a little bit more control, and a higher probability of getting exceptional rankings. This location one, also because your phone is tied into your maps, that's going to come back to us, and we're going to know you got to check in and you got to review, and it happened today. Every month, we go through and we do maintenance on all of our client sites that are using this system, and we will go create city pages. These pages for every city that you've either checked in or gotten a review. Now you're killing two birds with one stone. We also have the ability to take these individual pages and optimize them with backlinks. How many competitive pages in here?
Call it 700,000.
700,000. This is their initial ranking for their page 1, position 1. You see these stars down here, right? That's funny. So this report, I'm pulling up data that's not in your area specifically for a reason, because I don't want to give everyone's key phrases out, but they're all pretty much the same across the board. So these are the cities and the city pages. These are the key phrases from those city pages that we've been able to move up to the top of Google just because you get reviews. You're not paying for blogging. You're not paying for $100 a page for content writing and SEO and so forth. Just get reviews, and we make sure that they're implemented on the site correctly, that you have one per city. You guys do that as you're out and about, and then we build a backlinking program around that, and we get these city pages to start ranking on Google for locations you don't have a physical address in. Blue Frost is in West Chicago. Right here, you'll notice Blue Frost city page is showing up. So remember when I was telling you what these rankings are? And these guys just implemented this. They just did Google schema coding in conjunction with their review pages out of the gate. Remember, this was 18% of the click-through rates. This is 10%, 7%, and we keep going down. What two sites have a higher probability of anything getting clicked on here and why? In your thoughts as a consumer?
Stars.
The ones with the stars, bling, bling. The only thing that is changing the historical data on how consumers click are these stars. And you're starting to see them pop up everywhere. This is another one of our clients. This is for this, I don't even know how to say that word, but they're not located here. But their rankings are starting to pull because of the Google schema and because of the reviews. And guess who paid for the content? No one, because it's user generated. Customers do it. Now you have your customers investing in your marketing. Now you have a review that's not just helping you convert more business, but it's helping you get more business. One activity leveraged in multiple areas. Does that make sense? So if you drive all your reviews to Google Business Listing, Google Maps, what's the pros and cons of that? Your thoughts? I'll give you a pro. Google's the biggest cat in the game. I mean, that's the big dog, not cat, dog, right? Okay, Google's it. That's it. That's what matters most. Where does it only work?
Google.
In this, yes, and in the city you physically have an address, or if somebody already knows who you are. So do you need the reviews there? Absolutely. Should you put 100% of your eggs in that basket? Absolutely not. Because when it comes to rankings, it could change tomorrow. You need to have them because if somebody Googles your company name with the word reviews, that's going to pop up. Hopefully that pops up, not another company. So on one hand, you want to be able to route reviews to Google long enough to where you've got a good looking presence. And then you want to reroute reviews and get them back to the site that you own, the thing that improves in valuation. If you put all your reviews in, so let's go look. I'm getting too many links. I will find anything. Okay, so what was it? It was Air Design, Design, Air, Paul. Where's he located at? Close. Okay. So do I want more than 4 reviews here? Yeah. Get this up to a few dozen reviews. Do it quick, man. Like down and dirty. Don't stretch this stuff out. Sometimes I see people like ohing and woeing about stuff for too long. It doesn't take that long. Man, call 20 friends and tell them, look, go leave me a review. Now, I'm going to stay on the phone. You're going to pick up your computer, your phone. I'm going to send you the link. It's in my text. Just knock that out right quick. Like, knock things out. Some stuff, don't drag your feet on it. Get those reviews in there, get them done, because you need to start focusing on your website. Here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to drive my reviews to Yelp, because Yelp's a dangerous place. It's helpful in a lot of areas, but it's also scary. So I've seen it work really, really well, and I've seen it demolish companies. You don't own it. You can't control it. They can change the rankings. They can change the algorithm. And I don't want, if somebody was referred to my company, the first option going to somewhere where there's 90 other listings and options. I want them going directly to my site. So if I search for folks heating and cooling reviews, I want a page on my website that's /reviews. I want my business reviews I didn't even do that. Stop. I want a page on my website that's /reviews. Don't do /testimonials because no one looks for your testimonials. That's kind of self-defeating as a consumer. I want this to have a really good visual presence right out of the gate. I want them to be like, done, all right, check. I'm cool, I'm comfortable, and I want them going to my site first. So if they look for reviews, great. If they look by location, I want my website to own the top half. I do not want to send them to Yelp and Better Business Bureau and Home Advisor and all of those things first. So put the energy into your own rankings for your own brand. It matters because you're going to dilute the amount of lost opportunities. Does that make sense? Okay. But you notice each one of these, the way that these get here. First, they have a pay-per-click plan with a specific landing page for air conditioning maintenance. That's what they're working on right now because of the weather. Secondly, they have individual pages on their site that are specifically geared towards, dang, they got that's a lot of listings. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 listings, which is really great. These guys also, they're in New York, so huge piece of their business is they do oil to gas conversions. Everyone's got some kind of niche, and if you don't have one, we need to find one. I was talking at the event yesterday. We had a client from California. He was like, hey, I think we should look at optimizing, earthquake shutoff valves. I'm like, you can shut off earthquakes? What is that? Okay. That's what happens when you talk to a girl, right? So he starts explaining it to me. We're going through this whole thing. And I was like, this is genius. Let's do that. So we focus on one thing and nail it to where no one else has that. That's his baby. Same thing with this guy. So he's got low number of competition. This is something that's searched for on a regular basis. And he's been with us for 10 years. And this guy, when we first met him, he sat in the room and he was skeptical about everything. He made me crazy the first 2 years because we'd make recommendations like in October, we'd say it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I need you to do something pink. And he's like, no. Now, if you go look at his Facebook page in October, A, his website goes pink, and B, he's wearing pink booties, and so is everyone on his team. And he gets on Facebook Live. So we're making progress. But it's 10 years of changing his mindset on how to market his business. And it's working. It's growing, but he's a little difficult. I love Dustin with folks. Okay, so in here, notice in this one, if you have a significant amount of content, every one of these pages, this is where I was saying, it's not one page. Don't argue about having one page of content on your site. You need it. Over time, you should be adding more and more and more and more content. Keep adding it because you're occupying more and more real estate on Google. You take up more space. You have a higher percentage of converting if it looks like this. What should he do next? He needs Google Schema Coding. He needs a site redesigned and developed with Google Schema Coding. I need to see those stars everywhere. Boom. Everyone else is out of the game for those searches. Not just there, but in Beacon, I think. Beacon. Position 1, position 2, position 3. Pough. Oh gosh, somebody spelled Poughkeepsie. Oh. Position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. That's his game. You can do the same thing in any area with the exception of if you try and go to Los Angeles. If you try and go to Sacramento, or if you try and go to a major city where you have a mass amount of competition, you could get there, but Google's not going to give you any credence or credit if you don't own a lot of phrases in a lot of other areas first. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Okay, so from a reviews standpoint, back. Oh yeah, I was looking at your friend's site. So one thing out of the gate, you don't want to make it difficult for people to find. In your industry, you have 4 months of the year they're only looking for air conditioning. 4 months of the year they're only looking for heating. You've got you got this pocket here and pocket here that is kind of up and down. So make it easy. Use a full width navigation and put the things that matter up there so they can easily dive into the section that they want. Don't make them hunt too much. When we bounce around, we go air conditioning, and then we go heating, and then we go air conditioning, we go commercial, and then commercial, this is who we serve. We serve residential, commercial, new construction, rural, whatever it is, right? That's different. If we get into water heaters, indoor air quality, that's different. If you're in IAQ, then you're doing whole house air purification systems, whole house air purifiers, hugely searched phrases people look for, especially with allergy cities. Okay, and then you get into humidifiers, dehumidifiers, keep going down that list. UV lights and so forth. Solar, separate. Keep all those things separate. Hero, I'm guessing that's financing. No one knows what Hero is. So Hero financing program, I get it. However, this should be a call to action in a button that says apply for financing. Like, don't get creative. Just, if you're going to get creative with an image. Like, Michael, dog, front dog, dog on the slider. Tobias? Okay. So if you're going to get creative, like, do that. He's cute. Do something different. Use unique images, right? Make people feel good when they get there. It doesn't have to be all equipment. Let them know they're home. Right? This is my home base. Let them know they're there. So you can get creative with stuff like that, but not when it comes to labeling. Apply for financing, sign up for maintenance, schedule service. That's for your clients, existing clients. That's what they do. Get an online estimate. Online estimate. More powerful than request a quote. Why? Why would online estimate be more powerful than request a quote? Any thoughts?
Save time.
Not just that, then you know that if you're requesting a quote, then you're getting bombarded constantly with phone calls, and then you get that insecure feeling as soon as you call them.
Okay, so take your guys outside of your air conditioning world or heating and air conditioning world. Go to consumer. If you see a button on a site that says online estimate, what do you think you're going to get?
I'm getting a price right now.
I'm getting a price. Your customers think they're going to fill this form out, and they tell you everything about their company. I mean, about their home. They tell you how many square feet it is. They tell you, well, they don't have to give them the. You don't have to. So online estimate gives a consumer the ability to go in and tell you how many square feet the home is. They tell you if the air conditioning system is outside, is it blah, blah, where is it located? They tell you everything, right? They give you all this information. They submit the button. And then the way we set it up is we have an automated email that either contains content or a video that explains to the customer, thanks so much for visiting our website and requesting an online estimate. So we'll tell you a little bit about the process. This is what's going to happen. The reason you can't get a quote online is because every situation is different. We need to know the size of your attic or crawl space. We need to know what size capacity it can be. There's all of these different things that are going to impact our recommendations. So what we're going to do is one of our technicians or one of our service reps is going to give you a call, and we're going to schedule time to come out free of charge to your home and do an assessment so that we can give you the proper guidance. So you got all their information. You have a video that automates explaining what's next in the series. Automation, not people. It even has a link on there that says schedule service. So now if they want to schedule the time on their own, they can. And on top of that, if you pick up the phone and call them, you're a heck of a lot more educated because you know more about their situation, their needs, and so forth. What are their issues? They tell you if they have allergies, if their husband has sleep apnea. They tell you everything. And they appreciate the fact when you call, you're more educated so it doesn't take as much time. That makes sense? So there's always a way around everything. There's always a way around everything, and there's a better way to do it. Okay. Back. So let's run a couple reports. You guys, thank you so much. Oh, okay, so let's go pull this one up. We'll just put them next to here, even though it's a different location. So when you guys sit down with us and we do a strategy session, we're going to run a ton of reports. And we're going to run those reports quarter over quarter over quarter as we go through and evaluate everything to see what's going on with your site, anything's majors changed and so forth. All right, so they have 240 likes on Facebook. What do you think these guys' annual sales is? Or how many trucks do they have? Guess. No clue? Okay. So reviews is less. They have all their local listings set up good. They're updating their website pretty regularly. It's 44 days ago. It loads quickly. Their website's mobile friendly. AdWords, organic referrals that are about 55 a month. They're paying for some AdWords, but I can't see if it's turned on or off right now. AdWords, pay-per-click. That is a red flag. That's interesting. They should be able to see their domain age on there. Registration date was 2011. That's weird. So right out of the gate, first big issue with their site, they have a large amount of duplicate data. So duplicate content you can get penalized for. They've got 2 serious broken links, probably more than that, but those are the 2. They have a sitemap on their site, but it doesn't, in the robots file, which is what tells Google to crawl your site, it's not telling them what to go crawl. So those are major issues. You want to get that fixed. It's probably an old website and needs updated, is my guess. This one is the one I would be most concerned with. Any one of these numbers that is over 30% could get you penalized. A penalty from Google comes in stages. It comes in a warning, it comes in a gray list, and then it comes in a blacklist. Blacklist means even if somebody knows your company name and they Google your site, you will not show up. You no longer display on Google, period. So you don't want to go through these iterations at all, if possible. And they're very hard to recover from. So all of these, this is not actually duplicate content. Some of this isn't. A few of these are. What this is whoever developed their website is building their blog pages based on coding structures from probably 4.5 years ago, where you could use tags and categories. You can't use tags and categories anymore. Duplicate counts that as, or Google counts it as duplicate content. So everything that says tag, category, that's what that's from. So when we go through these reports, this is a sample of the local listing reports, and these are the exact local listings that we would take care of. I just pulled somebody that one of my sales reps just pulled one of these. So you need to have the exact company name. Your company name needs to be perfect on your domain registrar. So when you buy your domain name, don't ever let a web company buy your domain name, ever, 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 or one of your employees. Make sure it's always in your company's name. B, the data you have on here, this is, Google looks at this as part of ICANN. And that is the national registration information for every website out there in the world. And it's looking at what's the company name, what's the address, what's the phone number, what's the email. Then Google's going and it's looking at all of the top 70 local listings. What's the company name, what's the address, what's the phone number, what's the email, and so forth. Every one of these variances is diluting Google's ability to be able to authenticate this company. It has to authenticate. Your contact us page, the footer of your website, everything has to match perfect so Google can go, credible, got it. So you don't want to make things private. You don't want your web guy's name on your ICANN stuff, and you don't want to leave this to chance. It's got to be done, and all of these are covered as far as in the program. This is where, so we got bad addresses, we have incorrect phone numbers, we have missing listings, and then you'll find one of these. So this is not their phone number. Won't go into too much details, but they weren't very happy about it. So it's the cell phone number of one of their sales guys that's happily grabbing some phone calls on the side. So all of these things, they got to be fixed. This is how we monitor the local listings so you get an idea. These are all the local listing sites. We manage thousands and thousands and thousands of these things, making sure that they're perfect, that the listings are all synced, no duplicates, everything that's bad information is suppressed, and so forth. These reports, which I'd be happy to run for you if you want to hand me your card and I can pull one up. Otherwise, you can do that during a strategy session. This is showing you a holistic view as far as how Google is evaluating you, not just your site, but everything. You do have all these basics, those infrastructure pieces in motion. You may start off and have 40, and then you want to continue to add. This is where I said your mind needs to be sitting on what's next, what's next, what's next. The day of, if you keep doing the same thing, you'll get the same results. You've heard that phrase? That doesn't exist in the digital world. If you keep doing the exact same thing year over year over year, your results are probably going to continue to go backwards. You might see a jump in the beginning, but if the world around you is moving and changing and progressing and you stay still, it's going to be hard to continue to grow. So you've got to get to the point where you're listening, you're strategizing, and you're always thinking about what's next, what's next, what's next. Is that helpful? Do you guys have questions, specific questions, things you've heard you want to debunk? Anything? Okay, so last thing I'll leave you guys with. Be careful of all of the pop-up websites. So your Wix.com, your Yodel, your Yelp, your Yellow Pages websites. That's a number one. Don't let anybody buy your domain name for you. I've said don't put all your eggs in one basket. In addition to that, no duplicate content. And addition to that, you guys keep a password list as a company. Make a password list, make it yours, put it on a Google document, only share it with the people that you need to. You need to be the one that sets them up. All of the forgot passwords, it's connected to somebody's cell phone number, you got to validate on a text. That kills businesses when they don't own all their stuff and they weren't organized. Some of those things you feel like you're trying to save time at by cutting corners and going, no, just go set that up for me. To Joe. We love Joe. Joe found a better job. Joe's gone. Now it puts you in a world of hurt. Being able to access your Google business listings, your social media accounts, your website. Be organized and disciplined about owning that information so that it's your baby. I had one more thing. Outside of that, take this opportunity to schedule time with us, sit down, have a strategy session. We'll spend an hour with you. It's not a sales pitch. I love education. Our team loves education. Our goal is to just give you a really, really good view of where you are today. And then you decide, where do you want to go? The program that Ferguson and Air-Cooled and Leonida put together is phenomenal, and it's going to cover the things that are just a pain in your tail that you have to have done. Get that done, and then you can focus on, all right, what are the proactive things or the more aggressive things I want to go after, and you can invest in those things and start prioritizing those. Get yourself, wrapped around the idea of this is important and we got to move now. The longer you wait, the more time you give your competitors to build more content, put things in place, build more reviews, and the harder it is to catch up. Is this helpful? Don't freak out. It's overwhelming, it's intimidating, but you don't have to do the majority of this stuff. You don't. You just have to participate, be honest, be upfront. We collaborate, have some trust, have some faith, and reasonable expectations. And it's a partnership. It'll keep going. But you don't have to do most of the work. The hardest part you got to do is give us all your logins and passwords, which is going to give you a headache. Is organizing them. You good? All right. You guys you have anything you want to wrap up with? Thank you. I appreciate you.
So, one of the things that I would highly recommend is, what she does today is kind of like drinking through a fire hose.
Sorry.
So, I would recommend setting up the interview completely free, recorded. You can go back to it. Whether you end up going with our program or somebody else's, you at least know what the expectation should be from you to whoever. Again, the program is really reasonable, done in a couple payments, and it puts you where you should be.
Well, we already, my wife already went through what her name was.
Yeah.
But
Catherine.
confused the crap out of it.
So- so-
Set one up with me.
There was this, there was that. There was
Let me bring a little clarity. So, the email or the text message that you did earlier, that gives you the basis of what the program is that we cover. Done in 2 payments, whatever level you pick, done to start and at launch.
She made it sound like,
Right.
The add-ons, yes.
not only that, she said, well, you gotta put this one-time payment here, and another thing here, day and night, and so what am I supposed to think?
2 payments,
I'm sitting there
only to day and night.
Am I gonna draw it 10
So
grand?
here's the easy part. These are the programs. So it's either 3, 45, or 6. Period. Split in 2 payments
Just split it in 2 payments.
per year.
Right.
Put in 2 payments. So the first payment's on launch when they send you an invoice, right? Yep. And then 60 days later, you're making the second payment. Your site is going to be done in 60 days because y'all are going to show up. Now, so here's the deal.
Well, there's the maintenance, which are monthly.
So maintenance is in here, that's included. Maintenance right here.
Web hosting and support, that's included.
Web administration hours are not included. So that's probably what it shows. So you have web admin, which you will have access to the back end of your website, which I don't love doing because things get messed up, but you'll have access. You can go in and add content, add pages, change out images, you can add video, you can do all that. If you don't want to do that and you want us to assign you a web administrator, it takes them 3 minutes, takes you an hour. That's what that is. So you can add an hour a month because you're going to need to do seasonal changes. Every season, your sliders, you shouldn't have, hot, sunny stuff in the middle of winter and it's cold outside and so forth. Your promotions are going to change by season. So that's something you should consider. The 3 things that everyone in this room are probably, and all of my strategists are going to find these when they go do the research, the 3 things they're going to recommend that you add is a website administration, because you're going to want to change those things out every quarter. And you can use them for design as well as making changes on the site. The second thing is you're probably missing valuable content for either services that you sell outside of the day and night equipment or other things that you want to market. You're going to need some content for that. And the third element is everyone in this room should be on, whether you're with us or not, you should be on the Nearby Now reviews program. Neglecting that is not good. You guys have to have a formal and systemized way to be able to collect reviews, post them to the site, optimize them, backlink to them, and get those things to start working for you.
And all those are extra.
Yep, those 3 are extra. Those are the 3 things that, so normally what would happen is you would be spending 18 plus those 3 things. So in this environment, you knock out the $3,000, you're getting all of this hard stuff done, and then you have a budget of $200, $300, $400 for a handful of other things. Get those done and call it a day. And then 6 months from now, we'll make other recommendations.
We tried to do this way back in December, but
You have my card. If we need clarity, I can get with Jennifer. We can figure it out.
I don't know a damn thing about this stuff, and I don't want to know.
You have to know a little. And then you have to have a lot of trust.
That's her, my son.
Just a little.
So we do have a lot of, as you can see, we've had a lot of successful website launches that are really good. I mean, we got some people in this room that have done it. So I would say, let's not get frustrated. If the frustration gets to a point where you're ready to stop, call me.
No,
I would.
My son wants to do it, but I'm, old school on my way out.
So then you need to stop being the speed bump. Stop being the speed bump.
That's a big deal. Like, I don't think, don't make it hard on her. So my thought process is, and these guys know it, I tend to love working with those who I don't have to convince. If I have to convince, then I start, because I already know what happens is I have X amount of resources to spend on progress and progression and positive things that are going to pull you forward. And when we have tension and withdrawal or fear or frustration, then we wind up taking all of those hours and spending them trying to pull instead of working on the things we need to be working on. So that's why I always start with, we got to get our mind right and know this stuff's hard, it's complicated, and whatever your brain feels like, when I sit down with my coders and they're like, all right, let me tell you about the algorithm changes for this month and everything needs to change, I'm like, shut up. It's too much. It's complicated. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right. So that being said, I appreciate you all coming out and spending the better part of the day with us. Hopefully we can overcome his frustrations. Well, that's why.
Just made me nervous.
Somebody else sitting next to him. So, thank you.
Good job, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you. We're here for a minute if you want to hang out.
Here's these cards.
Shut it off.